This is going to be a film study look at Kenny Pickett and how he's played in the preseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he's led 3 drives through 2 games. I believe 2 touchdowns and 1 field goal. So I think there's 3 scoring drives there. Maybe there's 4, but from memory, I think there's 3. Statistically, which I'm not going to focus on necessarily in this video, is 9 for 11, like 115 in terms of yards and 2 touchdowns. The Steelers' first-team offense is rolling. When you watch the possessions, and they did get kind of I don't want to say a cheap score, but a short field score against the Bills after a really nice punt return by Calvin Austin in a Week 2 game. Steelers' first-team offenses look great, to be honest with you. So, like I said, scored twice against the Bills in the first quarter. Jaylen Warren with a long run. What I'm going to talk about with Kenny Pickett, I'm going to show 5 plays of his and then the Warren touchdown run. I think he's just leveling up. He looks to me like a guy who's in control of everything and can make and the coaching staff has confidence in every concept that they want to execute. Now, if he's not very good at a particular concept, it stands to reason they wouldn't call that in a game. The 5 plays that I've chosen here, I think, will give you some idea of how good he is at multiple different concepts and how deep the reservoir is in terms of the Steelers' offense, what they're able to do. I've done multiple videos on the jet sweep game and the twin wing formation, how it chewed the Ravens defense up last year in the Week 17 win in Baltimore by the Steelers. Feel free to check those out. I'll try to link them up here or put them in the description. I'm not going to show the touchdown pass to Pat Freiermuth on the short field, after that punt return by Calvin Austin, but I did another video showing about Jaylen Warren and Calvin Austin. Feel free to check that out if you want. And it does kind of go over that punt return a little bit in detail. But in any case, let's get started with the film. First play is 11 personnel trips right versus the Bucs in Week 1. And I love that he's hitting the backside X multiple times. I got 2 versions of it in the first 2 plays here. I love he's hitting the backside X quickly. Like I said, I've got 2 plays, two iterations of him doing that in the first 2 games. Getting the ball out there quick, letting the X receiver, the backside receiver, get the ball, make a play. I mean, people talk about his arm strength before the draft last year. He's getting the ball to people quick. The ball's slightly high, I guess, but in a manner that they can make a move like Deontay Johnson does. Defense has to account for that space on the backside of the formation. So you got 3 trips up to the top side, and then down here to the bottom side, you in some ways you got a one-on-one, even though this strong safety nickel is going to push out to the flats here, but Pickett is able to take it quickly. That's what I like about it. He's just looking at something, seeing it, making the throw immediately. No hesitation in this guy, at least from what I've seen in preseason. Wanted to do an off-season film study on him, unable to do so, just wasn't able to generate time. So slightly different formation in that you have the tight end over here on the same side as Pickens. I would call Pickens the X receiver, although generally the guy on the side of the tight end is a Z. But again, it's 11 personnel, twin slot A, gets the ball out to Pickens, I think 8 yards up to the top side of the field. When I say twin slot A, you've got twins here to the bottom side, stacked twins really, and then slot tight end. And then A means the running back on the same side as the tight end. If you had the exact same formation by 21 human beings on the field that you see in this picture, but the running back's feet were here, it'd be twin slot B because he'd be on the opposite side from the tight end. But in any case, again, an example of him getting the ball out quick. It's away from the nickel defender. He catches the Bills kind of spinning down the safety over here to the defense's right, the offense's left, and the corner getting off, pushing off, giving Pickens some space. Quick, decisive, accurate. Giving Deontay Johnson and George Pickens chances to make people miss, pick up some extra yards, set a tone over there on the backside that you're not going to be able to defend me or us like this. In terms of those 2 receivers, could seriously cause problems for the NFL if he's willing to do this and defenses kind of give it to him enough in terms of giving him that space that he's able to make them pay with a bunch of singles. Hopefully that makes sense. He's been excellent on 3rd down in 2 games. His 2nd year in the offense, so there's some positives there, obviously. The defense will be healthy, presumably. TJ Watt, certain upgrades there as well, drafting Joey Porter Jr. Very strong draft by the Steelers front office. But I think the one thing that could be a force multiplier for their team is if Kenny Pickett's able to make plays on 3rd down and extend drives. Keep the football, keep the defense off the field, get them to get another 3 points even, more than they would have got if they punted the football away. If he can do things like this on third down often enough, more so than last year, not that he didn't do them at times. I didn't notice him being as abrupt with the football. This is a guy who, if I remember correct, before the draft, they're talking about his arm strength wasn't that great. Man, this is a strike. Now, I've seen some issues. Again, a limited film that I've watched. 3 possessions of the Steelers offense, 2 possessions of the Steelers defense. I haven't seen great things from the right tackle, 76, when he's been in. Looks inconsistent to me, but if you're a Steelers fan and you're listening, first of all, appreciate you checking out the video. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section. Second of all, tell me if that's your impression as well. I mistakenly, I think, said this was cover 2 at first. This is a 3rd and 10, and you got this guy buzzing out to the flats. I think this safety's dropping down. His level in terms of his depth doesn't match these 3 guys' depth because he's got everything in front of him. He can see the tight end in front of him. It is a 3rd and 10. If Pickett's looking over here, getting ready to throw the football, he can break down on it on whatever angle he needs to. So that's why I think his depth is a little deeper than the other 3 second-level players. Zion McCollum, a fantastic athlete, is up here with Deontay Johnson. It's a zone turn. He's inside leverage. Some people like outside leverage, cover 3. Some people like inside leverage. I think it's cover 3 on 3rd and 10. But in any case, I think Pickett checks the safety quickly right now. I don't give you the end zone angle. I'm just trying to move these videos through on the All-22, and then moves out of there when the right tackle is beat on the inside rush, although the right tackle does stay on the guy, but clearly it flushed Pickett out of there. It's a great throw. I was super impressed with that throw, and that's not the only one that he's done on 3rd down this year so far, and again, in only 3 drives. 3rd and 7, I think you're going to get a cover 2 here. Trips to the right side, 11 personnel again. Tight end is in the trips. Another strike. Again, to Deontay Johnson, I believe. To the right side, not Deontay Johnson, my apologies. You're going to get like this switch release curl. So the tight end is going there. He's going to make it look like he's going to switch go and then sit it down between the zone defenders. Watch what Pickens does. Right around in this area, I think he's taught to stay inside leverage of the corner, to push the corner away from the route that they want, which is this route, the one that Pickett takes. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. I'll pause it. Pickens is fighting to maintain inside leverage and basically screen that defender. Simultaneous, you've got 76 on the ground. There's an attempt by the Bills to run a stunt here, if you ask me, but Pickett steps up smoothly, quickly, calmly, and keeps his eyes in the middle of the field looking for that tight end running over the second level, if you ask me, and then comes back to, I mistakenly said it was Deontay Johnson earlier. It's not. It's 11. I think Pickett has already come off of this read here, which is where his eyes were initially, and now he's working to the right side of the field. Pickens has done a nice job of forcing this defender to stay outside leverage of him, and Kenny Pickett, is able to fit the ball between the 2 zone defenders. Hopefully I explained the route combination in a way that makes sense. I don't think he's coming out here to Pickens at all. Now, there were times last year against cover 2 where, he was able to throw the ball over the top down the right side. Pickens had multiple catches like that. I think this is number 1, tight end, 2 here, and then maybe if he's got, time to get it to 3 down the sideline. It doesn't look like there's anything else on that side of the field because the running back releases to the far side. But as far as Pickett goes, great play, hugely important, because the very next play, if I remember correct, if I have my information correct, was this touchdown by Jaylen Warren, 62 yards. Now, this is a cool formation. Some people don't like it. I think some Steelers fans don't like it, from the standpoint that Matt Canada runs a lot of jet sweep. I've heard complaints about it before, and if it doesn't work, complain about it because it's not working. But the jet sweep game really gave the Ravens trouble last year, where you're talking about running the jet sweep with either that wing, if it's a receiver type guy, or the slot receiver. In this case, I think this is 11 personnel. You got a tight end, a wing down here, and then 2 receivers to the top side. Motion across, and then running the ball back to the single receiver side. Important in the NFL, showing teams that, the motion isn't always going to be the play side. Being willing to run it back against the grain of the motion. Guys do a nice job on the offensive line. You can see they've moved up. to second level, and then the X receiver going to get after the corner, try to stalk him. Warren turns the Jets on, turns it into a touchdown. So that third down conversion was huge, if you ask me. Last one, play 6. Again, only 5 of them are really plays that illustrate anything positive about Kenny Pickett. He's just handing the football off there. This is a play-action boot from 11 personnel, so that's a receiver. I think here is Darnell Washington, and then obviously you got Harris in the backfield, I believe, as a running back. Very patient on this. Not a third down, okay, but this is just to illustrate his patience. Of course, he's got a lot of time. He does have a lot of time here getting out to the edge. And in some of these situations, maybe the opposing defenses aren't playing all their starters. I thought the Bills had a lot of starters on the field, though. He's patient here. There's a flood concept, if you ask me. The guy from across the field, 11, out into the flats. Deontay Johnson originated from that side. So you're basically getting a high-low to that side. Pickens can run anything, depending on the corner's coverage. He can also bring his route to the sideline if he wants to. So that's why I call flood concept. If it originated from the same side, we would call it sail. Basically, Pickens is clearing his side out in this case. Pickett hits Deontay Johnson again for the 3rd time in this video, I think. So their connection is solid, obviously. Look, I think I've shown you how multiple he is in terms of being able to move, keep his eyes downfield, and throw the ball on 3rd down, keep possession of the football, attacking the backside with the X quickly when he recognizes open space for a check X stop, meaning the X receiver run a stop, 5-yard stop, 6-yard stop, 7-yard stop, whatever, depending on the coverage. Now I'm showing you one of him out on the move. Of course, he's got a lot of time. There's nobody in his face. He doesn't have to make anybody miss. In the flow of the offense, man, the Steelers' first-team group looks really scary, if you ask me. And I'm saying that as a Ravens fan, and I'm not the only one. I've got a Discord where people from my Patreon, Ravens fans, we are able to discuss, football, the Ravens, the AFC North, whatever, independently of all the chaos that's out there on social media. And multiple guys in there are like, whoa, Steelers' first-team offense looks great. And I agree. It's not fun for me to sit here as a Ravens fan and kind of give these guys credit, but man, it's sure, when you just watch it and you try to remove the colors of the jersey, in this case the black and gold, it's just smooth. Everything looks smooth. Everything looks very organized, very efficient, and I think Kenny Pickett is a huge part of that. They got great weapons. They got really good talent. They drafted a really good offensive tackle, don't get me wrong, but Kenny Pickett, if you ask me, is leading the charge here for this offense, and we'll see where it goes in the first week. I could be way wrong. Maybe this level of play won't be sustained, but I saw it against the Bills, saw enough to say they're legit. You guys let me know what you think of the video, what you think of the way that I broke down the plays, or maybe neglected to break down certain elements of it. If you think other Steelers fans, other football fans would enjoy this video, please consider grabbing a link to it, sharing it somewhere on social media to help this content get more reach.